coach said, if they don't have 1,000 on the SAT or a 3.0, don't even look at them. And I'm looking like, man, coach, I'm coaching the corners.
Yeah, you ain't gonna get them dogs.
I need some dudes that's barely making it.
Yeah.
But
chip on my shoulder. I got something to prove, like a gun in a holster. Loaded, ready to shoot. Got big energy. Ain't scared to dream. Got big energy. Got big energy.
You know this a different energy, right?
All right, coaching aspect, right? Like I said earlier, 2010, you were under Dabo Swinney as a defensive back developing coach. In 2012, you became a defensive graduate assistant at Clemson. Also, you were also a recruiting coach with North Greenville University and coach at Wofford. I said that right? Wofford College, coaching in your future. Well, I wrote that down, coaching in your future. So pretty much, how was that experience coaching under Dabo Swinney, who's almost, well, I will say he's really a legend right now. He's in the same atmosphere as Nick Saban and all the other legendary coaches. How was that coaching under him, and what the heck is a coach graduate? What's a defensive back developing coach? What is that?
man, all right, this is how. Well,
It
first,
just sound like a DB coach to me. It just sound professional.
it's
Fancy.
they find a way to get extra coaches on the staff.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So it started, man. It was crazy how I even got the opportunity. Like you said, like you was saying earlier, I coached at Manning High during my off seasons of arena football. So a friend of mine, man, he coaches over at Crestwood, Roosevelt Nelson. We were going up to Clemson. They had a coaches clinic. He was at Crestwood. I was at Manning High. We was gonna go up there, shake some hands, just talk a little ball, have a good time.
Yeah.
But Roosevelt got to the point where his wife, they were having a baby, and I think they had like Lamont's class or something like that. He couldn't go. So I called to him. We were just kind of talking at the time, and I said, look, we're not going to make it up there. You know, Roosevelt has Lamont's class. So she hit me with well, was you coming to hang out with your friend, or was you coming to get better? Now, in my mind, I was coming to hang out with my partner, but when she said that, it was like a gut punch. So I was like, oh, yeah, I was coming to get better. She was like, well, you got a license, you can still drive. Yeah. So in my mind, I'm like, she just want to see me. You know, that's what I'm thinking. But like, she kind of put that bug in my ear. So I went up there, man, and as soon as I got there, I went straight to the bathroom, washed my hands, kind of deal, been shaking hands, talking to people. So while I'm in the bathroom, Dabo walks in the bathroom. Now, at this time, I met Dabo once. Yeah. He had been recruiting my dad's school when he was at Scotts Branch. He had that area, and everybody was asking about me, but he wasn't a coach on the staff, so we never really had a relationship. He came in the bathroom, and he was like, hey, how you doing? And he looked, he was like, Brian Mance? I was like, yes, sir. How you doing, coach? He was like, good. You got a minute? I was like, sure. He was like, come on down to my office, let's talk. After talking about 10 minutes or so, he offered me the player development position. And that was pretty
player
much
development,
player development. And the thing about that role was I could coach those guys in the summertime when coaches can't.
Gotcha.
So I had an opportunity to work with Sammy Watkins, DeAndre Hopkins, Byron Maxwell.
So you pretty much like a trainer.
You
like
split
prepping them for the season.
You split roles.
Yeah.
So during the season, you being kind of like an analyst and help coach and stuff like that. Yeah. And then in the off season, you can help in the weight room and coach.
Gotcha.
I don't know how the rules are now, but that's how it was then.
Okay.
So then I did that for 2 years, in that role for 2 years, and I transitioned into a graduate assistant role. Yeah. Because, you know, some of the coaches there were telling me, man, it's going to help your career, help you get a job easier. Yeah. I knew it was a lot of work. And I was like, I don't know. Yeah. But I actually got into it, man, and was able to coach the corners that year, on the field guy, being able to coach the corners and being GA. And that's when I learned a lot of football. Yeah. That's when I thought I knew football because I could play it. And I tell people that all the time, man, there's so much that goes into it. People have no idea. Oh, yeah, I can't even sit down and watch a football game on TV with people that don't really understand the game like I do.
It's going to aggravate you.
Oh
right?
man,
Yeah, it's going to
because they say things, man. I just, you know what? I just sit there and bite my tongue. But I learned a lot of football in that role, man. And it opened the door for me. After leaving there, I went to North Greenville, which was kind of a Southern Baptist school, kind of like Charleston Southern.
Okay.
But the rules were a little more tight.
Tight.
Yeah, they're a little more tight than Charleston Southern. But I went there, man, and I said, I'm going to go here. I'm learning how to be a coach that don't have to do all this cussing and dog cussing kids and calling them this, that, and the third, because they wouldn't allow it at that school. You lose your job as quick as you could let it come out, and you could lose your job. So took that role, being a recruiting coordinator as well, coaching defensive backs. Did that for 2 years, enjoyed it, learned the recruiting process, know how to get guys in there. Yeah. Then, man, things just changed. We had a son. I think right after we had our son, my wife lost her job. She was working with Floor in Greenville, and she lost her job, and, man, things just kind of, I felt like my back was against the wall. And, man, the door just opened at Wofford. Wofford gave me a call. One of the defensive back coaches was leaving. Wanted to know if I'd be interested. I said, I was talking to Coach Ayers at the time. Coach, what time you needed me to be there?
Yeah.
And what time you want to start the interview?
Yeah.
He said 8:30. I was there at 8.
Yeah.
Like I was excited. I was ready to go, man. But that was a good experience coaching with Coach Ayers and a lot of guys on that staff, man. Great experience, man. Wofford was good to me. Even after dealing with neurosarcoidosis, they still allowed me to coach.
Wow.
Virtually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I watch everything on film, watch practice on film. After they would post it after practice, call my guys, say whatever, tell them what number play to look at while we talk over it. Zoom meetings while we breaking down film and doing those things. So they're really good to me at Wofford. And when I look back on it, man, I enjoy all those experiences, man. Enjoy all of it.
So we're going to get into the incident, but before the situation happened, I take it that coaching was in your future.
Coaching was in my future. Coaching was in my future, man. I felt like I was starting to get really good at it, know the ins and outs, starting to make all these relationships out on the road recruiting with high school coaches and stuff. Man, I had your old neck of the woods. I had Jacksonville, that whole North Florida area. I had all of that, man, in South Georgia, like Brunswick, all of those areas.
That's some talent out there, man.
Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. But the thing was at Wofford, highly academic school.
Yeah.
So
it's hard to get them.
Man, coach said if they don't have 1,000 on the SAT or a 3.0, don't even look at them. And I'm looking like, man, coach, I'm coaching the corners.
Yeah, you ain't gonna get no dogs.
I need some dudes that's barely making it.
Yeah.
But like we found a way.
We found dudes that want to feed their mama, man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But we found a way.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by MK Rentals, where we got you covered. Get all your rental needs. You can contact Kevin or Marsha Evans at 803-410-4812 or 803-543-8879. They're located at 1490 Greeleyville Highway, Manning, South Carolina. Again, 1490 Greeleyville Highway, Manning, South Carolina. If you're interested in being a sponsor, contact myself, Ernest Miller, at 803-565-9752. That's 803-565-9752. Or you can hit me up on my email at eaenestmiller83@gmail.com. Again, that's eaenestmiller83@gmail.com. You can also make contact with my producer, Victor Wesley of Vic West Production. His telephone number is 803-225-0021. That's 803-225-0021. Also, his email address is vicwestp@gmail.com. That's vicwestp@gmail.com.
All right, so let's talk about July 4th, 2016. Tell us what happened.
Man, on that day, my family and I, we were down here because we was living in Spartanburg at the time. Down here visiting, right before the 4th, hanging out. And on our way back on the 3rd, stopped by a buddy of mine's house. One of my best friends stopped by his house to see them on the way out, and I had a headache. Nothing too major, just kind of regular headache. As I drove down the road going back to Spartanburg, headache got a little more intense, but still just a headache. Probably about 10 minutes out from my house, I pulled over and I told Torrin, I was like, man, look, you got to drive. I'm going to get in the back here with Jaden and try to shake this headache off. Well, we get to the house and I'm out, I'm unpacking the car and she's getting my son ready for bed. And I said, I'm going to go in this guest room over here and lay down, try to shake this headache. So I went in there, I just couldn't get comfortable, kept rolling around. She came out of the room, I'm laying on the floor in the den. She's like, what you doing on the floor? I'm like, man, I don't know, I'm just trying to get rid of this headache. I like, you know what, something ain't right. Man, I think I need you to take me to the hospital. I said, let me get off this floor before I can't walk. Just talking. Have no idea what's coming. Get up, get in the car, and we going to the hospital. Now, from my house to the hospital, every bit of a 10-minute ride, 15 minutes at the most. Well, it's the 4th of July. So now they got the streets blocked, and we caught downtown, not knowing which way to go to get to the hospital. So these fireworks going off. I'm having a panic attack. I think I'm having a heart attack. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm sweating out of this world. Like, everything was just different. You know what I mean? And so when we get to the hospital, we finally found the entrance and the way to get to the hospital. When we get there, Torrin pulls up and she's like, all right, you go ahead in there and get checked in or whatever, and I'm going to go park. And I was like, I can't get out of the car. She's like, what you mean you can't get out of the car? Like, I can't move. Just that fast, like in 10 to 15 minutes. So some people came out and helped me get inside or whatever in a wheelchair and stuff like that. It took them, they never seen anything like it, didn't know what it was. I had all kind of tests, spinal tap, biopsies, whatever you can think of, I had it done. MRIs, CAT scans, like the list goes on. It took them about 2.5 weeks meeting with other doctors on Zoom calls from other major hospitals and stuff across the country, figure out what's going on. And after about almost 2 weeks, I was diagnosed with a rare autoimmune disease called neurosarcoidosis. So sarcoidosis, which affects your lungs, but this one affects your lungs. They can tell that you have it from like nodules and stuff in your lungs, but it affects the central nervous system. 2% chance. 2% chance. Man, I said, now that's a 2% chance to win the lottery.
Yeah.
I ain't get that.
Yeah.
But I end up having to deal with neurosarcoidosis, which is, I've been in remission. I'm heading in the right direction, but just, that was like a thief in the night. That came out of nowhere, man, and it turned our lives upside down. And I just remember throughout that entire process, they had me heavily sedated, almost like an induced coma almost. So I was laying there for 2 weeks. I didn't even know what was going on. Like, they were just keeping me comfortable. I remember waking up, probably about a week and a half later, like my mom standing by the bed, Torrin standing on the other side, my mom holding my hand. And I wake up and they're like, oh, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? I'm looking at them crazy, like, why y'all, like, I'm good.
Yeah.
How y'all do? What's up with y'all? Like, and my mom
Still ain't hit you like what's going on?
At all.
Yeah.
She's like, how you feeling? I'm good. And I'm like, I'm straight. I just feel like I can't move. For some reason, my mom was like, Brian, you paralyzed. I'm like, paralyzed? What you mean paralyzed? But they gave me some medicine or something. When it's going to wear off? Like, I'm asking all these questions now. She's like, well, the doctor's going to come in and let you know what's what. And that's exactly how it went. So it took me the next 125 days at a regional hospital in Spartanburg. Then I went to Carolina's Rehabilitation in Charlotte for 30 days. Then I went to Shepherd Center in Atlanta for 65 days, just going around the different rehab facilities. And like Torrin was a fighter. She was fighting for me behind the scenes because they were telling her, man, there's nothing we can do. You might as well put your husband in a nursing home. all these different things. And she was like, nah, he ain't going to no nursing home. And her faith was out of this world. She was like, he going to be fine. He going to overcome this. She wasn't trying to hear anything. Those doctors and social workers and everybody was she wasn't trying to hear it at all.
You got a strong one, bro. You got a soldier, man.
Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
they were trying to show her things she was going to have to do. She was like, I don't have to learn that. I'm not going to have to do that. He's going to be fine. So that trickled down to me. You know what I mean? But it was a hard process, man. Hard process. And the hardest thing about it was I spent all that time in a well-renowned, one of the top places in the Southeast, rehabilitation for spinal cord injuries and brain injuries. I'm doing all this work, man, and it's not like therapy people go to now where you go for an hour and you go home. No, I'm there. And it's 6 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I did that for 65 days, and it was tough because I put in all this work, and I returned home with still little to no movement at all. Just when everything first happened, I couldn't turn my head from side to side. I couldn't talk very loud at all. Like, all I could really do was blink and drink from a straw. That's it. Like, body completely shut down. So it was tough trying to bounce, because in my mind, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go get this work. I'm going to go get this therapy. I'm still
thinking like an athlete.
Yep, still thinking like, yeah. So now I'm like, man, I'm going to go get this work. I'm going to put this work in. I'm going to grind it out. And, I'll be back. I might catch the middle of the season. Still thinking about my guys getting back, because it was right before camp. And the funny thing about it, man, it was before camp, but Torn and I would always go on vacation before camp, because when the season started, I'm 7 in the morning, I'm getting home 10 o'clock at night. She already knows what time it is, so we would go on a little family vacation. Well, this year, instead of going to Isle of Palms, all these different places we would go, we decided we're going to go home. We're going to spend some time in Alcaloo with our family. And that's how things turned out, man. So it was a hard road, man, a long road, but I'm gradually, over the years, have gotten stronger and gotten better, and continue to see different things come back and different areas get strengthened, man. But it's been a long haul. Long haul.
You think with your
To be continued. Make sure you check out the next episode. And also, you make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on my YouTube channel, The Mill Experience. And now we also on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Make sure you download. Peace.
You can't tell me how to act. Said I can't be successful by sticking messages and rap, but God's with me. Who told you being intelligent is whack? So place your bets. My faith is fresh. I'ma make it stretch. Cause I sat there eye to eye with the face of death. And you ain't putting work in unless you break a sweat.